L'chaim, l'chaim, good Shabbos, every morning, v'rabaisai, l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sha'akol nהיה b'dvarav. Today, yesterday, the day before, a little stressful on money, you know. I got what I got for Shabbos, and then like since then it's just been a little bit stressful, you know. Got what I got in between Shabbos, and now also was spent, you know, but just say it was a little stressful. I think mostly because I was waiting on a certain money, not too much. $45, someone sent me 50. Buy me a coffee, took $5 from it. Took a week plus for them to approve my account. Now it's been almost a week waiting just for the money to be transferred. But in my head this whole time, I'm like, oh, it'll come tomorrow. And then tomorrow it doesn't come. And I'll be like, okay, it's going to come the next day. And that's already been a few days of that. So I think that adds to my stress. But it's been a couple of days of like really stressed about money. Maybe I'm always stressed about money, but I feel like it comes in waves. You know, it comes in waves. Sometimes I'm less stressed, sometimes more. Sometimes I don't give a shit if I have nothing. Sometimes it really bothers me if I don't have a cigarette and a beer. It really bothers me, you know? Anyways, today was one of those days where I really just needed my beer and my cigarette. And I didn't, you know... Like, every time I had a cigarette today was a stressful event. Like, how am I going to get that cigarette? Pretty much. In the morning I had a pack, but it was like slowly dwindling. It was stressful to just smoke a cigarette, you know? Because where am I going to get more from? And then it's stressful to go and get cigarettes. Buy one at a time, two at a time. Just saying. So anyways, I sent out a Cash App request. Sent out to 3 people with the message, a Yid, which is a Jew, a Yid, is asking you for money. Which, you have to be retarded to like receive that notification on your phone, a $5 Cash App request, and not approve it. If you have $5 sitting in your account, and it comes with a message, and Yid is asking you for money, and you decline it or ignore it, you literally got to be retarded. In my professional opinion, you got to be retarded to. But why did I word it like that? You know, I worded it like that because I spent some time also messaging a different friend in New York that I went to high school with, asking him for help. And one of his responses amongst our conversation was, what do you need it for? Then it went back and forth about like this, that, is it that, blah, blah. There's a lot of things people like to bring up when you ask them for charity. But it's all bullshit, and it's all self-interest, self-serving for them. They want to know your details, your intimate personal life. They want to judge you on how you're spending their money, so it's not charity at that point. If it's their money and it's not charity, right? Just saying, that's why, because people are so retarded, you literally have to talk to them like this. A Yid is asking you for money. You have to talk to them like that. Otherwise, they get retarded. And even that, by the way, I sent out 3 requests. One of them gave me the $5. The other 2, maybe will, maybe won't. But I'm just saying, it's pretty retarded. Because Cash App comes up on your phone when you get a request, usually. Maybe these 2 guys have their notifications turned off. Maybe they're in the middle of prayer and they're at a point in prayer where they're not allowed to answer their phone. I don't know, but I'm just saying, it's weird to me that I got to play so hard to get some money out of people. And even when I'm going to message you directly, like a Jew is asking you for money, and you know that I'm in Israel, and it's only $5. Literally, all I want is a beer and 2 cigarettes. Yeah? 1 beer, 2 cigarettes cost me $5 today, okay? Like just under $5, like 4.5 or something. L'chaim. You can get it slightly cheaper, I'm saying. If you go to the supermarket and you get warm beer and put it in the fridge yourself, it's cheaper. Yeah? If you buy a pack of cigarettes, it'll cost you less than if you buy single cigarettes. Yeah, I can get it slightly cheaper, but that's more or less the price. For a beer and 2 cigarettes, about $4.50, something like that. But yeah, some people don't understand that I need a beer and a cigarette, or a beer and 2 cigarettes. Some people don't have that understanding. It's like, to them it's an addiction. But what I tried to explain to my friend from Brooklyn is that, dude, a lot of the things you consider essential and necessary for yourself, I can call an addiction. Even your very breath is a charity from God, and one day God is going to tell you that breath, that's an addiction. You don't need it anymore. He's going to take away your breath. That happens to every single person. One day you're going to have your last breath. It's also just an addiction. You don't need to breathe. You're just addicted to breath. You're addicted to life. You're existed. Whatever. L'chaim, I guess. L'chaim. People want to argue all the time with me about whether or not I need to be working or should be working or blah 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 could be working. Take it back to the theological debate. In the Talmud we have recorded a theological debate about work. We have one opinion that says like I don't know the words, but one opinion that says yeah, you should go work. And the other opinion says like, dude, if I'm gonna harvest and plant and this and that in all the appropriate seasons, when will I have time for Torah study? Which is pretty much saying like, dude, work gets in the way of my spirituality, my psyche, my flow. You can't involve me with work. I cannot be involved with work. When am I going to be involved with myself, my soul, my true self? When am I going to have time to be myself if I'm always involved with all this other mundane labor? And it's a theological debate, and they're both valid. Elu velu divrei Elohim chayim. If you want to work, you probably belong to that category. If you don't want to work, you probably belong to that category. It's that simple. Beyond that, beyond the theological debate, I happen to maintain the opinion that whether or not you think people in general should be working, I should not be working. Whether that's due to my autism, whether that's due to my trauma, whether it's due to my bad character traits, whatever it is, I am not fit for work. I'm not fit for work. Yo, l'chaim. Shalom. Yo, I'm so autistic. For real, I'm like way socially off. I cannot maintain eye contact. I cannot go out and meet new friends, male or female, sexual or what's it called? When you're just friends. Either way, I'm saying, either way, I cannot. Every time I've like made a new friend or had some kind of sexual encounter, I feel like the other side almost always initiated it, or they made it very easy for me. Whereas like I could say literally anything I wanted and they would just go along with it. They made it that easy. But like normal interactions, platonic, that's the word I was looking for. Normal platonic relationships or sexual relationships, doesn't matter, but normal relationships are very, very hard for me to like, I don't know, I'm saying I've seen some of my friends that don't suffer from what I suffer from. They're just like normal people. Dude, going out in the street, just talking to random people, taking girls' phone numbers, getting involved with guys in business, or just chilling, or, you know, it's like, that's not me. So you could say, yeah, introverted, social anxiety, you could say anything, but I'm just saying, all the things you want to mention, they could all also be autism. And because so many of my other symptoms can also be autism, I say they're all autism.